This is Our View, the voice of Washington's working families. Working at one of Washington's institutions is a sure ticket to job injuries, often and sometimes serious. Our members recently spoke before a legislative committee.
I'm a 26-year employee at Eastern State Hospital. I'm here to tell you today that where I work today is more dangerous than it was 26 years ago. I don't know if anybody else can say that. In the last 2 years, I've seen 2 incredibly significant injuries. One of my fellow employees was hit so hard in the head that he developed a hematoma, developed clinical depression, stutters, has dropped 40 pounds. His personality has changed. He's not the same person. He's tried to come back to work, but I'm telling you today that he's not going to be with us much longer. One of the women I work with was hit so hard in the face, it broke her face in 7 places. Took 5 places to fix. They couldn't fix it. She was basically forced into retirement. She's kind of lucky she could retire. Many of us don't have that. Some of the fixes needed, they're easy fixes. They're going to cost money. Some of them aren't so easy. One of the easy fixes that's going to cost money, we need more people on the floor. Our duties have increased dramatically. So I guess I'm here to ask you to help take care of this problem. It needs to be done. We need more staff. We need staff members that are hired to do a job, to do that job, and not to be spread all over to make up for deficiencies in other areas.
I am one of the staff members that got injured. I'm here because of that. I have not been able to leave my house for the last 2 months. I was attacked on October 9th. My face was scratched up. I was hit in the head 3 to 4 times. I was choked, which I don't remember. Short staffing, I think, is one of the problems that we have at Western. I also believe that there are too many management positions that could easily be replaced by 3 people that work on the floor. As far as site techs, LPNs, RNs, we've got open positions that cannot be filled because people just don't want to work there anymore because it's gotten way too dangerous.
Have you found your household budget getting tighter and tighter, even if you've gotten a recent cost of living raise? Imagine if you're a worker trying to make it on minimum wage. According to Benjamin Marcus, it's the same story in Europe, as pay doesn't keep up with the cost of housing, food, and utilities.
We have all heard or used the expressions times are hard, or even have the feeling of working more but earning less. Well, it's the same in Europe, and especially in France. Since the money conversion to the euro in 2002, Europeans have the feeling of spending more money than they used to before. Looking at the official figures, it doesn't look like it. With the raise of minimum wage from 6.3 euros an hour in 2000 to 8.27 euros per hour in 2006. To find out a little more about all this, I talked to Emmanuel Mermet from CFDT Union.
My name is Emmanuel Mermet and I'm an economist at the CFDT, which is one of the French leading trade union. This is true that there has been a little changeover of the prices when we passed to the euro from the French francs. 2 years ago we noticed it in the statistics, but now it's a bit over from this period. But today the main concern of the people is the rise in prices of houses, of energy prices, and also for food.
Minimum wage is a bit higher in France, but conditions are not the same.
We know that we have a slightly higher minimum wage than, for example, in the US, but we have a lower minimum wage than in the UK, for example. We have a lower minimum wage than in Belgium or in the Netherlands, for example. So we are not very much concerned about the fact that it could be higher or lower than other countries. Our main concern is the fact that today we are seeing that a larger and larger part of the workers are paid at this minimum wage. Today almost 17% of the workers are paid at SMIC level. It was less than 13% 2 years ago. And for us it's a very big concern, because it means that on average more and more people are paid on this level, which is for us a safety level, a net level. And this is not a wage that the people should be paid on for their whole career. And we are striking in order to increase the level of wages and to set up real careers for those people, not to stay on SMIC level all their life. In France we have, like in other European countries in fact, a compulsory social security system which covers healthcare and also retirement schedules funds, which is publicly ruled. And this amount for about 40% of the wage which is paid to the worker, which means that, for example, if someone is paid 1,000 euros, it costs 1,400 euros per month for the employer. And this has been a very huge debate because the employers say, look, we cannot contribute to all that because it costs a lot, and it makes that our level of wages is not competitive facing USA or Asia or other countries in the world. And the state has been implementing a rebate on this level of social security contribution, which means that at SMIC level there is almost nothing to pay, and it increases when the wages are increasing. And today we are facing the problem that with this rebate it did not create many jobs, but it created more jobs paid at SMIC level, as I told you earlier. And this is our concern, because it means that on average all the level of wages is pulled down towards the SMIC level because the employers want to have the opportunity to get this rebate.
Good environmental practices and jobs can go together as the Trade Union Advisory Committee promotes healthy workplaces internationally. According to the director of their sustainability unit, that's the only way many of our jobs will last into the next decade.
I think our main goal is to make people understand that environment and jobs are linked, are essentially linked. So that's the first idea. And about our work to, try to reach that goal is to inform people about those linkages, try to make people understand how in the corporation's behavior, but also in the government's behavior, there's a linkage between those issues. And there's a political will to unlink those environmental and job issues. Corporations and governments don't want workers to behave on environmental issues. They don't think it's a trade union issue. They don't think it's a workers' issue. They think it's something for the NGOs. But we completely believe that that's not the case, that workers have a lot to say about that because of their experience, because of their role within the communities, because of their role at the national level. We do believe that there's a place and a role to play by trade unions on environment and sustainable development as a framework. We have seen already in history that when jobs are not environmentally responsible, we have unhealthy conditions. In general, there's a really strong linkage between unsafe conditions and non-environmentally responsible jobs. We can see that case with asbestos. An example is a big issue. We have a lot of multinationals that are polluting the environment, and at the same time they are risking the lives of their workers. So we need sustainable jobs, and sustainable jobs is really the umbrella issue for having environmentally responsible but also socially responsible jobs. There's a lot of jobs that are depending on old technologies that we know that they'll end. It's true that if today we don't engage in industries that are clean and are good for the future of our planet, We know that we are engaged in projects that won't last for a long time. We know that 50 years term, that those projects will just fall. For me, a sustainable workplace is actually it's a workplace where a job is good with environment, it's actually responsible, but all the inputs and outputs from that workplace are good for environment, and not only for in the production but also for consumption. They are good for health of consumers, and there are also jobs that are sustainable in terms that people have a decent job with healthy conditions, but also a good wage. We cannot forget that matter. People need a good wage to get out of poverty, to have access to health, but also to food and to housing. And so we have to promote that kind of sustainable job, a job that will last for decades, but it will also last, leave the planet clean enough to allow our children to live in for the future.
A look at our union history, here's Ross Rieder.
Samuel Gompers was born in London, England on the 27th of January 1850. His parents were Hollanders from Amsterdam. The family immigrated to the United States in 1863 and settled in New York City. Gompers and his father worked as cigar makers. After attending a lecture in 1879 given by Thomas Hughes, the Christian socialist, Gompers became an active trade unionist and helped to reorganize the Cigar Makers Union. In 1881, the Federation of Trades and Labor Unions was founded. This organization was based on the structure of the Trade Union Congress in Britain. Gompers was the chairman of this new organization, and when it changed its name to the American Federation of Labor in 1886, he was elected as first president. Gompers held conservative political views and believed that trade unionists should accept the economic system. As a result, a rival, more radical organization, the Industrial Workers of the World, was founded, and however, though, the numbers of members remained small compared to the AFL. Gompers supported United States involvement in the First World War and became a member of the Council of National Defense. In 1919, Woodrow Wilson appointed Gompers as a member of the Commission on International Labor Legislation at the Versailles Peace Conference. Samuel Gompers, who was president of the American Federation of Labor from 1886 to 1894 and 1896 to 1924, died in San Antonio, Texas on the 13th of December, 1924. His autobiography, 70 Years of Labor, was printed in 1925, shortly after his death.
This has been Our View, brought to you by the proud members of the Washington Federation of State Employees. We remind you, when you accept a paycheck for your hard work, you don't give up your rights. Thank you for watching.